Welcome to another episode of the Lightspeed Investing Podcast. Today, I've got a friend overseas from Europe. His name is Peter. He's got a fascinating journey that will showcase how he landed currently in building out health labs in Europe. But Peter, first and foremost, glad to have you here. Is how late over there in Italy, right?
Yeah, so it's 10 p.m. here. The weather was good today, so I'm really happy and excited to be your guest.
Yeah, thanks so much for staying up, in the evening and doing this podcast with us. Now, Peter, you want to share with the audience a little bit about yourself, what you were involved in? I think you were similar to what I'm doing now in the investment fund space, right? Before you really started to transition to the health space.
Yeah, so I was a spoiled little kid with everything, so I could choose where to study, what to study, where to go, where to live, all this stuff. Went first into technology companies before the dot-com bubble in early 2000s. Then I went into first transaction banking and then investment banking.
Mm,
After 16 years in business, I said, okay, that's not what I want to do. I've experienced serious burnout. I've
mm,
experienced multiple bankruptcies of my projects. And I said, okay, something is not right with me and the environment.
mm.
So I I, dis- um, I discovered that I was experiencing midlife crisis.
Ah,
Uh, Basically, I was burned out. Didn't know how to come out of the burnout. I was just I wanted to grind my way out because my whole life before my, let's say, retirement phase was about grinding. So okay, I can work like 12 hours a day. I can work 18 hours a day. I can overwork everyone. I can work every Sunday. I can work all the time.
mm.
So that is how I was going about my life. And
You
okay,
you sound like me when I was in my 20s. I'm still like that a little bit, but I've dialed it down because of the health aspects as well.
yeah. So the big problem is not just health. I was extremely unhealthy.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't do any drugs. I didn't do any alcohol.
Oh,
I would never smoke or something like that. But I did a lot of junk food
oh,
and not enough exercise. I did
yeah.
like 2 to 3 times a week. But because you're in survival mode, this exercise is basically worse than doing nothing because
What were you eating junk food wise?
yeah, burgers most of the time.
Oh, I see. I was gonna see if you were also eating like or drinking like energy drinks, candy, chips.
So chips was not my thing. I ate a lot of burgers, chips, not chips, fries, and a
Yeah.
lot of sodas like
And you said
Red.
the exercises that even though you were participating in them, it didn't really help.
No, because you need rest, not exercise when you work too much. So
Sleep, diet, and then exercise. That's the three prescriptions, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And of course, you have so what I found later on after my burnout is that I have to balance between work and time off.
Yeah.
And business is not everything in life. There's also a family aspect
Sure.
of a life, or should be.
Yeah.
Um, if you work like 4 days a week, you have to rest for 3 days. If you work like 12 hours one day, then you have to rest a bit more next day, and similar. And yes, I'm still working on a project then where I get completely excited and I work like crazy for a fortnight, but then I take a week or 2 weeks off and try to recuperate as soon as possible, and not doing what I used to do, to just work straight for a couple of years without vacation, without everything, because I was so eager to do everything now, and I didn't want to miss anything. and I was micromanaging all my projects, and everyone in my team was nervous.
Mm,
So um, yeah, it's hard to go with the flow because uh, we are taught to be control freaks, and we are encouraged to have everything under control. We need to check all the KPI every day, not once a month. We need to check, I don't know, email 5 times an hour. We have to do this. We have to return calls in an hour, stuff like that. So it's all this that we hear on YouTube videos, in different books, how everything should be done immediately. But life is not just about urgency. Okay, there is a part of life where urgency is needed, and especially if you're a firefighter or police person, you have to respond to the call and go there and do your job. But if you're not, you we can always organize things in a way that are more humane, more, let's say, human friendly, and we also organize a better business for our clients that way. Because even if the response time is not, um, let's say, the speed of the light, uh, it can still be acceptable. Let's call it like this. And if people see that you are authentic, then they don't have problems with that.
So yeah, let's talk about what you're currently doing now, with the midlife crisis projects, where you're focused on health, right? So obviously you were burnt out, you were in the finance and investment space, and that kind of motivate you to really look at health, I would say solutions, right? For people maybe looking
Yeah.
to get out of
So
midlife crisis. You want to talk a little bit more about what is it that you're dealing with now? What are the things that you're seeing, that are issues for people in terms of midlife crisis?
yeah, so midlife crisis is, let's say, um, under researched area of our life, because right now every research goes into specific details. For example, you're anxious. Okay, let's research what anxiety is all about. And we have huge problem because we don't have a holistic view of a person, of a society, of let's say age group,
Mhm.
how things are developing for them. So I stepped 2 or 3 steps back and say, okay, I want to see midlife crisis as a holistic challenge. Let's say, and there are now over 40 movements and stuff like that that are developing slowly, that starts to acknowledge that every generation in a certain age have similar problems.
Mm,
And what my research is, or have proven, is we all in our 40s we start addressing our medical health, or yeah, medical health challenges. We start losing our lean mass or muscles,
mm,
and we start experiencing hormonal imbalances.
sure.
So these are the 3 things that um, I'm working on, and trying to help people get on track with their diet, and of course, simple things like organize time for rest, organize time for your meal. You don't want to eat your meal, especially not lunch. It's for me most important meal of the day,
Mm,
behind your desk and behind your computer. You want to
mm,
have a special desk
yes,
dedicated to food,
correct.
and just dedicate an hour or an hour and a half
Yeah.
for lunch break, to take your mind and your body of this stress.
Mm,
Especially business
absolutely.
people are under stress a lot when they're communicating, when they're constantly doing their jobs.
Yeah.
And what I did wrong was I had so many business lunches and so many business dinners that I had to attend. So I tend to advise to my clients they should avoid them if possible. Of course, it's not possible, especially if you host an event that is in an evening, you have to be there. But there are many times where you could do it the other way. So you don't go to dinner with people so that you have time for yourself and your
Mm.
family. There are many times that you can just skip a day in a week. And most people um, do not acknowledge this, especially if you work for yourself.
Mm.
If you're an entrepreneur, you see that you have no meetings on a certain day, then you can just skip that day and you don't go to work and just postpone everything to the next day or try to do something the day before and something next day. And that has tremendous health benefits, especially if you leave your phone at home, if you don't answer emails on that day, because your brain starts engaging in other activities.
Mhm.
And that helps regenerate your brain and helps improve cognition. And
Yeah,
cognition is one of my main areas of research,
I see.
where we were trying to establish why people are getting dumber and dumber. And then
Oh.
we found out that the people are not getting dumber. They are just in survival mode. And in survival mode, um, this is like a reserve program in your car. Or something is wrong, you cannot
Uh-huh.
use all the functionalities.
Right, I see. I see.
So that is why we help companies establish if their key employees are under are functioning under survival mode. And
Ah.
if they are in survival mode, we help them, let's say, break out of that curse,
Mm.
and their cognition improves 30 to 40% immediately when you go out of the survival mode. And then we
And
can
yeah.
go even further with our methods to improve cognition and to recognize.
I was gonna ask, are your methods mainly based on like research? Like, is that what you spend your most time on? Is researching? Because you mentioned, you're doing a health lab, right? So is it like a health research lab, or and this you said in person, right? It's physical. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's most of it's physical. We
Uh-huh.
do some online also,
Hmm.
because we are now able to improve cognition online as well. We have
Hmm.
developed this 12-step program we call a Phoenix program, from midlife crisis to absolute clarity.
Nice.
And we help people get from midlife crisis to absolute clarity in like 5 years. If you're in a bit more hurry, in like a 3 year time. If you want to do it faster, then you can do it in 1 year. Or the fastest programs are, for example, in 12 weeks. Or if you that is possible online. But if you have, um, if, for example, if company wants to put their key stakeholder or employee, developer, programmer through a program, we can do it in 12 days, but it needs to be on the site. We cannot do it online.
And where is on site, by the way? In Italy or
Italy, Switzerland, and Slovenia.
Italy, Switzerland? Oh, so you got three labs basically, right?
3 locations.
Three
We
locations.
own one, and we rent other 2
I
locations
see.
when.
I see. Well, Peter, thank you so much for sharing your personal journey. It was great to hear how and why you went from the finance and investment space, right, being burnt out there, experiencing midlife crisis, to doing what you do now in the health space to help others, who may be experiencing the same challenges that you did, navigate them out of it. So, that's great to know. And again, thank you for sharing your journey. Now, if the audience listening, they want to learn more, they want to, speak to you, they want to connect with you, what's the best way of them to do so?
The best way is probably to find me on LinkedIn.
Awesome.
Um, or if you're a midlifer, you can join our community. But just shoot me a message on LinkedIn, and I'll navigate you.
Okay. And Peter Faleskini, correct? On LinkedIn.
Faleskini. Faleskini.
Faleskini.
Faleskini. It's Italian.
Faleskini. Oh, there's an extra I. Yeah, Faleskini. Okay, Peter Faleskini. There you have it, folks. Thank you, Peter, for tuning in overseas. I know it's late again in Europe, so hope you get some good rest. Right? Hope you're able to get that sleep early tonight, and I look forward to speaking to you again. Okay?
Thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you for letting me share my story.
Of course, man. Thank you. You take care.
Thank you.